Hey there, Saki here from SAKITECH. In today's video, I would like to share 10 superb tips and tricks for your Samsung Galaxy Note 8 that you need to know to enhance your ownership even further. The Note 8 never ceases to amaze me as it is full of fantastic features. So let's dive in and discover. Now, if you are wondering what case I am using, just check the link in the description box below. It is the official Samsung rugged case that looks good and offers maximum protection. Like I said, the link is down below in the description box. Anyway, let's dive in. Now, some of you may or may not know this, but there's a sensor on the rear of the Galaxy Note 8 sitting right underneath the flash. It is in fact the heart rate sensor. So that's great, but a lot of people don't know that it serves 3 different functions. It actually is not just a heart rate sensor, but it can also be used as a stress sensor and an oximeter, which is used to measure oxygen saturation levels in your blood. So let's take a look at how these things actually work. Alright, so basically here's what you want to do. So you want to pull up your app drawer, and then you want to go to Samsung folder. And inside Samsung folder, you'll look for the Samsung Health application. If you cannot find the Health application anywhere, just basically go to the app drawer and search for it. And that's going to bring it right up as well. So as you can see, it's right there. So go right inside the Samsung Health application. And then on the first page, you'll see those 3 things I was talking about in the beginning. The heart rate sensor, the stress sensor, and the oximeter. Now, it's very possible that when you launch the application, you may not see one of these guys. All you want to do is you want to tap on this plus icon here, manage items. And from here, you can disable or enable any one of these options if you want even more settings available to you. So in my case, you just want to enable heart rate, oxygen, and the stress sensor right here. Just enable these options. So when you go back inside, all of them are going to show up right here. So let's say that you want to actually measure your heart rate. All you want to do is tap on measure, and then from there, pick up the phone and put your finger on that heart rate sensor right there. It is right here. It's going to actually go red, so you can sense it. When you scroll over, you'll see that it is actually measuring your heart rate, and it's actually pulsating, and it's going to take the calculation and give me a measurement in a second. So as you can see, we took a measurement and it was 84 beats per minute. So this is one thing you can do. The next thing you can do is you can measure the stress. Now it's the same exact concept. You tap on measure, you place your finger on the sensor, and it's going to give you a readout of your current stress levels. Based on some numbers, it's going to calculate for you. And finally, the same thing you can do with the oximeter here, which measures the oxygen levels of your body. So place your finger on the sensor, scroll over. Takes a couple seconds to measure this out. It does ask you to stay still and quiet as you're using these meters. And of course, when it is done, it's going to give you a number. In my case, it says 100%, which is fine. It is in the green zone. It's between 95 and 100, so that's perfectly fine. So that is the heart rate sensor, the stress sensor, and the oxygen sensor, the oximeter. Let's move on to the next tip. Now, this tip is one of my favorite tips, and not a lot of people know that you can actually do this. When you turn off the phone, there's an option called the always on display. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know about that. But this always on display is absolutely minimalistic. So if I turn off the screen, you'll notice that the only thing that lights up on the screen is a little square icon here. That is the home button. This is the pressure sensitive home button area. So this is the way I like it. So I always know where the home button is. It just is a nice visual cue. Now, if I press and hold this, it's going to take me into my smartphone. I don't have a pin enabled right now. But again, if you turn that off, that's the little always on screen. So I don't get any of the fancy clocks, any of the notifications here, just that square little button. Hopefully you can see that in this video. Now let me go inside, let me show you how to do that. So go to the settings, go to lock screen and security, and then obviously go to always on display, and make sure it is enabled to show always. So show always enabled, it's on, and then go to content to show, tap on it. And as you can see, I only have the home button enabled. So this square icon here is going to be shown in the lock screen. Now I can go nuts, I can go like this and pick any one of these guys if I wanted to. But that does eat some battery life unless you're charging your phone all the time. But I just prefer this minimalistic approach. So all I do is home button only. And when I turn off the phone, it has that little visual cue that there's the home button right there. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, when you press and hold it, boom, takes you straight to the home screen as long as you have no security enabled. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about has to do with the notifications panel, but not the actual notifications, but the quick toggles portion right here. So everybody knows that if you tap on one of these quick toggles, it turns on or off the given quick toggle that you're interacting with. So enable or disable Wi-Fi. What you can do on top of this is you can tap on the text portion of that quick toggle. For example, here it is connected to my Wi-Fi network. If I tap on the text portion, it expands that quick toggles and gives you more details pertaining to that option. Now, as usual, from here I can turn this on or off, and I can even go to the details if I wanted to. It takes me into the full Wi-Fi settings menu. Or what I can do is if I tap on the text portion, and if I want to go back to the actual quick toggles screen, I click done, and then I can go back right here to continue to manage my phone. Now this is going to apply to every single toggle here. So with the flashlight, for example, if I tap it, it turns on the flashlight. If I tap it again, it turns it off. But if I tap on the text portion, it's going to expand that, give me a larger menu. From here I can enable the flashlight, and I can change the intensity of the actual flashlight, which you cannot see right now because it is sitting flat on the table. And when I'm done, let me just disable that, click done. Same thing with the blue light filter. So again, if I tap on the text portion, boom, you get some enabling. Let me just disable that for now and click done. So as you can see, those are the quick toggles option. Now one more thing you can do is if you want to go into this detailed setting of any one of these quick toggles, you simply press and hold on the quick toggle anywhere. So if I press and hold, boom, that goes straight into the actual Wi-Fi menu. And of course, like I said, all these things apply to every single quick toggle. So with the Bluetooth, if I press and hold, it'll go right inside the actual menu. All right, let's move on. All right, so next up, I'm going to talk about video. So if you go into the settings, and if you go to advanced features, and if you scroll all the way down, you'll see something called the video enhancer. Now, this might be turned off by default. I highly recommend you turn this on. If you go inside this setting, you'll see that this setting, when you enable it, enhances the image quality of your videos to enjoy brighter and more vivid colors, and it actually works. And if you look over here at the bottom, it even lists all the applications that actually make use of the video enhancing feature. So popular apps like YouTube, Netflix, Crunchyroll, the built-in video player, Google Play, VLC, all support the video enhancement mode. And if you turn it off, it gives you a preview right here. So if I disable this, you'll see it's a little less vivid, a little less brighter. But if you enable this, it makes it brighter and more vivid. So make sure you actually enable this to enjoy video in higher quality. The other quick option I want you to check out is about sound. So basically go into the settings, go to sounds and vibration, and then scroll all the way to the bottom, and it says advanced, and it says sound quality and effects. Tap on it, and I just want you to see that there's actually a built-in equalizer here that you can actually play with to get the best sound that you want from whatever that you're using. Now there's a couple options here that are disabled. They will get enabled if you plug in a headphone jack, but this is what I'm talking about here. So using this dial here, you can use a built-in equalizer. Now this is the basic version here. You know, anybody can use this just by dialing back and forth. You can get more vocals, instrumental, increase the treble or increase the bass like this. If you want to actually do some advanced equalization, tap on advanced and it gives you more details. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, the final thing I want to talk about is, let me go to my phone here. And as you can see, I'm in my contacts. And here's an option you can enable. So let's say I want to call somebody here from the contacts or send a message to that person. All I have to do is I can either swipe to the left to send a message, or I can swipe to the right to make a call. All right. So if I do this, it's going to launch the messaging application. I can start typing whatever. And if I go back here, if I swipe to the right, it's going to start to call that person. Okay. So let me go back out. Let me show you how to enable this option. So go to settings, go to, where is that? Advanced features here. And then scroll down a little bit. and enable this option, swipe to call or send messages. If you tap it, it gives you some details, but make sure it is enabled. If you don't enable this, and if you go back to contacts and you try to swipe, it just swipes around the screen, okay? But if you enable it, it changes that functionality to messaging or calling. Messaging or calling, all right? And that was the last tip. And that brings us to the end of this video, and I hope you learned a few new things on your Galaxy Note 8. Of course, make sure to subscribe for more videos. There will be plenty of more Note 8 coverage. And also, if you do use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, follow me on all at SAKITECH Online. Have a fantastic day. And again, if you're wondering what that case is, the link is down in the description box below.